Yeah, because I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of customers that call in and say, "Hey, man, I had my ECM repair
Mm-hmm.
a few months ago somewhere else, and it went bad again." It's
Mm-hmm.
usually the same problem, and they took the ECM in, they had one bad component, they changed the component, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually it's gonna go bad again, man.
Yeah.
So the main thing is always doing the right thing, you know, doing the right thing, making sure it's gonna last.
Yeah, do it once, do it right, and I mean that's the way to do it.
So welcome to Truck ECM Podcast. This is episode 1. I'm Starling, and I'm here with
Oscar.
all right, Oscar. So let's get right to it.
Sure.
Oscar, for those guys that don't know who you are, can you tell us what is Truck ECM?
So Truck ECM, we work with the engine control modules, Cat, Cummins, Detroit, Packard. So we repair them, reprogram them, diagnose them.
Okay.
That's basically what we do here.
And how long have you been in business?
We've been in business 13 years. We started in Dallas, and now we have our second location here in Tampa, Florida.
Wow, 13 years, a long time.
Yes, sir.
And what motivated you to start this business?
Well, I went to school for electronics. I did bachelor's in electronics engineering. Then also my family. I come from a family of truckers. Since my great grandfather, he was a truck driver. My grandfather was a truck driver. My dad was a truck driver.
3 generations. Wow.
Yeah. So I guess it runs in the family, and I used to add those two things, like the electronics I did and the trucking that was in my family, and then
so we can say you can, even though you've never been a truck driver yourself, you can relate to these truck drivers because you know what they go through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, like truck driving or the trucking business is one of the most important businesses for our economy. Everything runs or gets delivered with trucks. Like all the food gets delivered with trucks. Your clothing gets delivered with trucks. Even the ECMs, when we send them, they get delivered in trucks. So I mean, that on one side, and then having family members being truck driver, it's a really respectable job. I don't think it's a job for everybody. I think it's like one of those things that you're kind of like born for it, or
yeah, you either built for it or you're not. It's not an easy job. So
not easy at all. Yeah. My respect to all truck drivers. If you're a truck driver, you know how hard this job is and difficulties that can happen. And put it down in the comments if you're a truck driver.
And I know you've been in business for 13 years now,
mm-hmm.
but the last few years when it came down to social media, I mean, Facebook, TikTok,
mm-hmm.
Instagram, I mean, you blew up. How does it feel to know that you have reached so many people through social media?
Well, I mean, it's something new for me, definitely. We've been doing like social media for a while, but last year, all of a sudden,
took off.
Yeah, it tipped off with the help of First Strong. It's the company that helped us with it. Some promotion out for them, and they helped us like do the new videos. I'm like, oh, well, let's see how this goes. And I was like really surprised with all the support from everybody. A lot of followers. I'm like, man, like it took me by surprise. If you're a follower too, like put it down in the comments. I want to see who's watching this video, this podcast. But yeah, it's I really enjoy it. Like talking to people and at the truck shows that have seen the videos. Mm-hmm. Some of them that have the videos have been helpful to fix some issues. So it's very satisfying, honestly.
I can definitely understand. I mean, I personally myself, I work for the company. I don't repair computers, but the fact that we go to these truck shows, see people that come up to us, hey, are you Stalin? Or hey, are you Oscar? Are you Victor? And hey, I spoke to you guys. You guys helped me out, man. I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
To me personally, it's just a great feeling to know that we out there doing the right thing and helping people out. So I can definitely understand, how you feel.
Yes, sir.
Does it ever get overwhelming?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's overwhelming. I mean, it's a lot of things that are happening, fast. I mean, It's not like oh man, we have millions of followers, but for me it's like it's overwhelming. Like the amount of people that we reach through the videos, it's amazing.
It's a blessing, though. I mean, the fact that we've been able to help so many people is awesome.
Yeah, that's the greatest satisfaction for me.
And what advice would you give someone that's looking to start their own business or has a dream and they don't know what to do at the point? Because at one point that was you. I mean, you just started a business that nobody else really was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think for any business, or any person that wants to start a business, the first thing I would recommend to do is to do it, like start it, go for it. The second thing I would recommend to do is to listen to your customers or listen to your potential customers. I think that's been one of like the keys to the company being in business for 13 years now. That we listen to our customers, like they tell us what they want. They tell us, if they want something else added to our services, and we listen to them. And I think that's been a key. So I would recommend anybody wanting to open a business to do the same thing. Like ask your potential customers what they want, what they need, and then provide that for them.
Okay. And what has been the biggest challenge in the last 13 years?
I think honestly, I think starting the business was the biggest challenge. Like the first research that was put into the ECMs, doing the first job, you have to add different areas of knowledge, I guess. Electronics, you have to know the electronics, know how the electronics works, and then you have to know how the engine works, so you know what the computer is doing, and then the programming side of it. So I think just adding all those things up was like the most challenging thing, and then of course it gets easier through the years.
Okay. And I have a lot of customers that call and say, "Hey, Stalin, I have a computer, the battery's bad. How long is it gonna take you guys to repair this?" Tell them usually about 2 days. Can you explain to the customers why that process of just replacing a simple battery can take at least up to 2 days?
Well, what we do, everything we do is a warranty. We offer a warranty on everything we do. So once we have an ECM open, like these have a battery, DDEC 5 have a battery. So once we have them open, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but this is like a flexible board inside with an aluminum case. So you have to open it up, and it's gonna be sort of like a taco. You have to open it like this. Once you have it open, you don't want to just go in and replace one part, whatever's bad on it at the moment. It's an aluminum case. It's gonna break, once you open it 2 or 3 times. So once you have it open, you want to first, make sure you do the job right at the first time, and also you want to replace all the components that usually go bad on them. That's what we do. That way, when we finish with it, we test it, then we seal it, refurbish it so it looks nice again. So it's not only working good, but it looks good. Seal it really good, and then we can give it a 1-year warranty. So that's why no matter what the issue is, it's always 2 to 3 days to repair them.
Okay. So the goal is basically for the customer to not have any more issues when it comes down to their ECM.
Exactly. Yeah. We love our customers. We want them to come back, but we want them to come back with a different module, not the same one. If you're one of our customers already and you've had your ECM rebuild, put it down in the comments. I want people to see it.
All right, Oscar. Like we mentioned earlier, been in business 13 years. We have 2 locations, Dallas, Florida. What does the future of truck ECM look like to you?
Well, I mean, in general, like transportation it's a business that's gonna continue, for the long haul. The whole economy depends on transportation. So I think, the way I see it for us is just to like keep updating on the new models, make sure we always stay up to date. And then I think later we're gonna like add different brands.
Okay.
Like right now, there's we're already working on Volvo, And the reason why is because a lot of the followers were sending us comments or sending us messages, and they're saying, hey, you know, if you can work on Volvo, like I can send you mine. And then another guy asked, and like it's been so many of them that I'm like, okay, so we got to do something about it. And right now we're actually like doing the research so we can start working on the Volvo. And like I said, we always listen to our customers. So if you guys know of like a different brand that's common that needs the service needs to be out there, please put it down in the comments. That way we know what brands.
Or if you have a Volvo and you have any issues with your ECM, also put them down in the comments.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that'll help us too. Like if you tell us, I had this problem before, the ECM did this, and it was the ECM that helps us a lot because we know what the common issues are.
Mm-hmm. All right, Oscar. Now, all the years in business, what's one story that you can say sticks out the most? Well, there's a good story, a funny story, anything that just comes to mind right now at the moment.
This actually happened when we were first starting on Dallas, and it's the first time that I talked to a good customer of ours, and this guy says, I have an ECM that I already had it programmed. Like this guy, came to my shop, picked it up, fixed it, and now I got it back. He says, I just have to have it programmed. So I said, okay, I can help you with that. And I went to get it. He gave me the engine model. So it was an N14, a red top, it's a Select Plus, and the ECM said Select Plus on the case. So I said, all right, like no problem, we can do it. So I took it to my shop that we had at that time, and got it connected. When I connected it, Cummins inside says it's a Cummins Select. I'm like, oh man, like something's not right. So I call the customer. It's like, man, this is not a Select Plus, it's a Select. He's like, no, I still have the truck there. Like it's still at my shop, and it's a Select Plus and the ECM. Like there's no way that's a Select. So I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna open it. It's been repaired. Like just have the guy that repaired it like come over. Like I'll show him. Like I'll open it up so he can see. Maybe he got confused, and things happen. So maybe they put the wrong ECM inside the case. So the guy comes in and we open it up now with him there. Like I show him. It's really funny because the guy came in a white robe, like a doctor, chemist or something. And if you guys, somebody from Dallas is looking at the video, you've seen the guy, put it down in the comments so they know it's a real story. But yeah, this guy used to go like around the shops and yards, and he looked like a scientist, man. And so I'm like, all right, like here it is, man. Like open it up and tell him like, see, it's a Select. So he's like staring at it. It was something like this, a Cummins N14, and we got it open, and like he was looking at it. I'm like, or he was like, how do you know if it's a Select or if it's a Select Plus? I'm like, man, because I'm looking at it, I can see it's not. And I realized then that he didn't know like the difference between one and the other. So, maybe he did like replay. I don't know. But then I showed him like this. The Select has this part. The Select Plus has this part. And then we got it solved for the guy. But it was really funny because this guy says I asked him. He was doing repairs, so I asked him like, how long have you been doing repairs? He said he had been working on them for a long time, but he didn't know the difference between one and the other. So he says, I've been working with ECMs for like 10 or 20 years. So I'm like, all right, yeah. He's not
10
even
and
sure.
20 years, but the difference. Wow.
Yeah, slight difference there. But yeah, that was one of the funniest stories. It was when we first started in Dallas.
And what about a memory that brings you joy? You say, you know what, it felt amazing to be able to help this customer out. Something that you'll never forget.
I think there was a recent situation with a family actually, that this family had converted a school bus, and you guys probably seen a lot of these conversions where they do a school bus and they convert it to an RV. But this family lived on the RV, and they tour all around the U.S. and then they make content of the places they visit, and that's basically all they do. And they were stranded for a couple of weeks, and nobody could find the issue with their engine. It wouldn't start. And so I mean, just imagine like a couple weeks, and it was like him, his wife, and I believe it was like 3 or 4 kids.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, like, well, he came in, and they were all here, like from the oldest to the youngest, and really cool family. Really, I I got to talk to them for quite a bit, and I really respect what they're doing. Like, it seems like they do something that they really enjoy. We're just going through a bad experience at the moment. And well, this guy saw my videos on I think it was like Facebook or Instagram, and he's like, man, now they're telling me like it's the ECM, and he brought it in. We got to check. I'm like, yeah, that's it, man. That's ECM's bad. That's why the engine's not starting. So we got it fixed for him, and then he came later, so we could like double check his RB. He wanted to have peace of mind, make sure there was no more issues. And but I think because it was a family and it was their home, I think that was like one of the most satisfying jobs that we've done lately.
Being able to put them back in the world. I mean, I can only imagine. It's like saying, hey, I'm at home and I have no electricity for a week.
Yep.
With a wife and kids, it's tough.
It is, yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of it's not just the RVs, but there's some trucks and some people that live on the trucks. I talked to one guy. That's a long story, but he hauled things for a circus. So the guy lived on the truck. He had a huge truck. Like the cab was like a custom cab. He had a kitchen inside, a complete bath.
It was basically his home.
That was his home. So a lot of people do that. That's not something rare. But yeah, this family was something different. Wow. Yeah, if you relate to that or have a similar story of living on the truck, put it down in the comments too.
All right, Oscar. And in your opinion, what has been the biggest challenge when it comes to transportation in the trucking business when it comes down to the ECMs at the moment?
I think right now the biggest issue with ECMs is when because we've seen some situations where somebody had a radio technician that kind of like they knew electronics and they repaired that ECM, but then they fixed it temporarily, and then the guy was stranded a couple of weeks later. So I think like having either people that are experimenting with the ECMs or that's not their main line of business, work with ECMs. I think that's been like the biggest challenge. And I'm not saying this, so everybody can bring the work to me. Of course, there's a bunch of companies that specialize in ECMs, and trucking. It's a huge business, so there's work for everybody. But I'm just saying, like, make sure that you do it with somebody that knows what they're doing, and prevent things like that. Like I've seen some ECMs. These have a battery inside, like I said. So I've seen some of them where we open it up and it's got some weird battery that was adapted to it. I'm like, man, like why didn't you spend like a little bit of time and you started it? Like it's not that hard. And then a lot of the parts on computers on the ECMs, especially on the older models, are military specs or they're industrial, but the specifications for the components are very high temperature, that they support a higher humidity, vibration. And another thing is that the components that a lot of the ECMs use, especially the older models, are military spec components. So you can't use like a similar component, like the temperature they're designed for to withstand either the heat or the cold. Are specific for the trucks, because I mean it's gonna be all kinds of weather on the desert, vibration, humidity. So I think that's like the biggest challenge when it comes to ECMs. and then like repairs or work being done on them.
Yeah, because I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of customers that call in and say, "Hey, man, I had my ECM repair a few months ago somewhere else, and it went bad again." It's usually the same problem, and they took the ECM in, had one bad component, they changed the component, and eventually it's gonna go bad again, man.
Yeah.
So the main thing is always doing the right thing, doing the right thing, making sure it's gonna last.
Exactly. Yeah, do it once, do it right, and I mean that's the way to do it.
And for all our new followers, first time watching Oscar, where can they follow you? What are the platforms?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube as Oscar Truck ECM. So it's my name and the business name, Oscar Truck ECM. And if you're already one of my followers, put it down in the comments. I want to see which of my followers are watching this podcast. And if you're not a follower, please follow me. Thank you for your support. Thanks for the support to all the followers too. Appreciate it.
All right, Oscar. So I think that's a wrap. So
good.
Thank you for watching. This is episode 1 of the Truck ECM Podcast. More to come.
All right. Awesome.